All right. Good to go?
Yeah.
All right, YouTube, we're going to record. Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT, postwrestling.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcast, wherever that may be, youtube.com/upNXT.
Hello,
we
YouTube.
Are live. Yes, right now.
Hi, guys, everyone in the room.
You see, no matter where you are, no matter what you may be going through, no matter who you're with, you can always know that Wednesday nights, you'll have your NXT friends. And just remember, Wine Wednesdays. Because it's Wednesday. No matter what, we're in quarantine. Well, Davie, we're roommates, so we got to quarantine together.
We do, yeah.
We really do. So
that means if we get lonely,
we got to drink wine. You did what I'm calling, which I think a lot of people in the world right now are doing, and I hope everyone listening, we are bringing you some joy, bringing you a little light in our situation, because, you know, it's just podcasting. So podcasting can't stop. The wrestling might stop.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, does the wrestling stop. But the podcasting, oh, no.
Will not stop.
Yes, we do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/upNXT. And since this whole kind of epidemic worldwide, people are like, hey, I'm going to check out these podcasters. So we did some cool shows this month, and now's the time to check us out for $5. So
yeah, actually, I would
just saying.
We normally do the thank yous at the end, but
yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing them right now because if any of you follow me on Twitter, you'd have found out that I lost my job this week, as many people have. I work in the bar and restaurant industry, and as of I believe it was Monday.
Yeah.
Bars and restaurants were shut down. I'm getting my layoff letter tomorrow.
Nice.
So I'm jobless. This is my only kind of source of income.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people responded this week and have signed up to our Patreon, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I know it's not just us, it's a lot of people, probably a load of you listeners as well, are going through similar hardships right now. So I just want to say thank you so much to anyone who decided to either send out a tweet or supporting us by joining the Patreon.
Yeah.
It really means a lot because I'm trying to keep kind of calm with it all right now.
Keep calm.
But
carry on.
Realistically, we don't know how long this is going to go on for. If it's a few weeks, I think I will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Some people know, they literally live day to day, and this is kind of fucked for them. But if we have no scope of how long this is going to be, so times are kind of pretty scary right now, and trying to remain positive, keep busy by putting out podcasts and doing a bit of work for John Way as well. I watched Impact for the first time ever. Wow. Never watched TNA in my life.
Wow. Best match ever, Impact, coming soon.
Impact,
TNA.
yeah. I just want to do a quick shout out to some new patrons this month.
For sure.
I want to say thank you to Daryl Boland, to Rich Leach, to Adam Tassigny, to Quinn Weddle, to Rory Alnwick, and to Charlie Reichsek. Thank you so much.
Well,
Did I just read out yours?
You just read out the list you gave me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry. I'll continue then.
Yeah.
So Mike Weiss, to Lee Harvey, to Ventak,
I'll try not to cough,
to Sorash Khan, to Matt Donnelly, to Mahmoud Al-Mahdi, and to Gaz Wright. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, new patrons.
It means a lot. You're
all patrons. Hey, thank you for listening to this show.
Patrons that have supported us from day 1, from day 20, from whenever. If you signed up for a month and dropped out, that's cool. Thank you, everyone. And thank you to those of you that listen and support us every week on this feed as well. Just wanted to get that out the way.
Yes, I mean, it's trying times. We gotta all love each other.
Yeah.
In these times, I always end the show by always saying, "Be safe," because, people need to be nicer to each other. I know in these times of days, if you go out and you go to your grocery store and you're trying to get toilet paper, and you see the shelves are empty, and you see kind of people looking at you, you cough a little bit, and someone looks at you like daggers. It's like, hey, we're all in this together.
Well, I'm going to say,
stay home.
I knew there would come a point when keeping the odd socks was for a reason.
Okay.
I've got a drawer full of odd socks that
What
I
is that
don't
gonna
wear. When we're out of toilet paper.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
You never know. You never know.
No. Shower. Just the shower. That's what.
Can't shower every time I have a shit. Actually, I'm living at home now.
Did you know that's a thing? Oh, I think someone I know has that. I don't know. What's not a
What, bidet?
No.
Oh.
Well, I wish we had a bidet.
Yeah.
Let's not. I mean, I could talk about bidets all day, but no. There's someone I know. I don't want to expose them, but they have a thing.
Is it John Pollock?
No. It's just a friend of a friend of the show listens. Like, so maybe they'll hear it. But allegedly, this person can only poop when they know they can shower instantly after.
Oh wow!
So I heard about the rumor about this. Didn't really think about it. It's not something you think about. And then I had to hang out with said person. And then they said, "Okay, guys, I'll be back in a little bit. I have to go to the bathroom." Took a towel. Heard the shower come on. They come out. The hair's all wet, and I was like, "Oh, I think so. I think it's thick."
You see, I
toilet paper.
I just can't do that. It surprises me out of nowhere.
No.
When I need to go, it's pretty sudden a lot of the time.
It's crazy. I mean, a few years ago, memes and all sorts of people were like, "Hey, it's 2019. It's 2019 now. We eat ass." Well, look where it got us now. Look where it got us now, people. Yeah. Well, we've been self-quarantined, self-isolating. I still was kind of at work. I work in the media, so media never stops. So I am given kind of an option coming up forward if I do want to go to work or not. But I don't get paid. I'm paid by the hour as well. So it's like a sticky situation. But you've been home for a few days.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing?
So it kind of feels quite normal right now because I was meant to have today, tomorrow, and Friday off anyway. Tuesday got cut. My shift on Tuesday got cut because when they kind of realized this was all happening, they were like chopping shifts in half and stuff. So the last few days I've been busy doing what we normally do, like watching all the stuff we watch for the Patreon, seeing my girlfriend, doing laundry, doing groceries, like all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of felt quite normal. But I have started to prepare for
the apocalypse.
Well, for what comes ahead from that. So yeah, I've stocked up on alcohol.
Yes, we've done now what I'm calling an alcohol.
An alcohol, yeah.
An alcohol. It's where you go to the liquor store or you're whatever, and you just get everything.
Yeah.
So I got a few bottles today of some stuff.
Nice.
I know you did. You're stocked full. I don't think I've ever seen our house full of this much alcohol.
I feel like an adult because our wine rack normally has like one, maybe two bottles of wine, and they're drank like the day we get it.
Right.
It's full right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't know. Like that could be closed next. We could in 2 weeks be like, whoa, we were all ridiculous here. Like, I bought a load of meat and sort of separated them and frozen them and things like that. I've got enough food for a couple of weeks.
Dude, I bought so many pizza pockets today. I am fucking ready.
But other things I've done, I like going for walks every day.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm still going to keep that up. Like we live in a basement. Yeah. Like it's small.
We're going for a walk after the show?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
I downloaded, I re-signed up to Audible because you get like 2 free audio books.
Okay.
So I got The Outsider by Stephen King. So I can like listen to some audio books while walking. I'm trying to remain like as busy and positive as I can, but it is fucked. Like I know so many, I trained in acting. I worked in theaters back home. And it's kind of fucked in the UK right now because it's this whole thing of we're urging theaters to close. We're urging people not to go to bars and restaurants, which essentially means because the government aren't enforcing it, they don't have to pay out on insurance. I think it's what we've been seeing with WrestleMania. It's like, no, you cancel us.
Yeah.
So I've got so many actor friends who have, as most actors do, like 3-4 jobs, have lost them all with no way of getting that money back. So a lot of my friends back home are fucked. I've been kind of mad because, okay, you're urging gatherings of more than 50 people, yet you haven't closed my mum's school where she works with 4,000 people.
Wow.
I believe they were closed today.
Okay.
But I'm like, why is this taking so long? So yeah, just in these times, it can be stressful. I'm kind of going all over the place here.
Well,
just be nice. And and work out what you need to do. If for you to be sane is buy a fuckload of alcohol for the next few weeks, do that.
Oh, I'm doing a weed shipment tomorrow.
If you're gonna use this time to read a load of books or write a book or
Yeah.
go for runs and get fit, do that. If
Yeah.
you want to just watch Netflix and stuff your face with candy and pizza,
chill.
do that. Like, honestly, at this time,
Gargano and Almas and chill.
Exactly. At this time, do whatever's good for you and know that we're there for you every Wednesday. Whatever's happening with NXT.
Yeah.
Even if there's no wrestling, we're going to put out something for you guys.
That's true. I mean, that's kind of where our Patreon will come. That's why I'm saying, again, I said last week is the greatest. I think a week time, I said last week, now's a good time because it's WrestleMania season, whatever. Not sure if it's happening. This week, we kind of know it's happening, but is it really? Is it?
Yeah,
really?
it's still
really?
Like everything's changing hour by hour.
So $5 a month for our North American tier on the Patreon gets us all these shows. We did the best of Edge, where we watched all the best Edge matches, compared them, and talked about them barbershop style. We've done a Bret Hart one in the past. We're doing so many shows. We're doing tomorrow for our Patreon. We do our AEW reviews every week, by the way, as well. I know we're your NXT friends, but we do AEW every Thursday as well. But we're doing WrestleMania curtain jerkers. Opening WrestleMania matches is our best match ever show tomorrow. And I know what did we do last week? We did some big shows.
Last week we did the game. We did the greatest
game.
WrestleMania with John
Pollock,
Way and Mike.
Yeah, and that was so much fun where you came up with these games. So, and I know a lot of people listening to that is something they're like, wow, I didn't really know I needed this in my life, but now in this time of quarantine, it's popping. So if you want to help us out, $5 a month gets you all these shows, all the back catalog. If you have nothing to do and want to listen to some podcasts, well, now I'm not even lying. Like, this is the time. So if you want to help us out, please definitely do.
And to all our patrons, you've helped us reach one of our targets, which was getting to 205 patrons.
Right.
Which means for the lowest tier, we've now released 10 past shows. So if you maybe don't want to even commit to $5 for $2.05,
go back in time.
You can get
catalog
past shows, about 10 past shows. More than that, actually, because we release some at Christmas time as well. So you can get a taster. You can fill the time during your quarantine.
Right.
And then hopefully you might want to upgrade.
Because it's time for quarantine. We got the Disney Pluses. They're going to release Rise of Skywalker, right? Got to rewatch that soon. We just did our free, on this very feed, the Star Wars The Force Awakens review, which was a lot of fun as well. So we're giving out all the content, whether it's on this very free feed or on our Patreon. But we've been doing so much podcasting and content creating. And well, it's kind of helping us in this time of need. Like, I know it might be $5 to you, but to us, it helps us a lot. So appreciate you guys again. So I feel like it's just a giant circle jerk right now.
It is, but deservedly so. Like,
yes,
we love you guys and thank you.
Yes, I've now been trying to self-isolate. I went some grocery, like I joked about the pizza pockets. Got some alcohol. Got some port for us when we watch the AEW later tonight. I know it's Wine Wednesdays, but you know
it's a port.
It's a port wine.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been.
It's a wine. I mean, yeah.
I'm
like, it's a port.
It's a port. Yes. I know that we're gonna watch AEW. I've been chilling. I've been trying to watch the Fast and Furious movies. I've never seen them before, so I got to Fast.
I've only seen the first 3,
so I got to see the one with The Rock now. So I'm catching up, guys.
Yeah,
because we're joking about a show for our Patreon called Wrestlers in Movies, where we just watch movies with wrestlers. So that's a whole.
I don't think we're joking. I think
we're
pretty serious about it.
Fast 5 was lit. I'm not even lying. Like, that movie was ridiculous, but lit. The Rock is awesome. I'm so many years behind, but wow. And Fast, the new one with Cena, is being pushed back
by a year.
Yeah, everything's being pushed back, so it's just crazy. I know that like if this continues on for the next few weeks, we should pick some stuff that's maybe on some of these streaming services, like something that's on a Disney Plus or a Netflix, and just like do some more reviews.
Absolutely,
because there's just not that much wrestling right now.
Yeah,
and I'm lacking it. So I'm like going back. I went on a wormhole on YouTube. I'm watching a clip of something. It takes me to a match of Kenta Kobashi, and then I'm watching a 6-tag Joshi match. I'm all over the place when I am quarantined, right? You know me. I smoke a joint and then I just go in wormhole of watching. We watch some crazy stuff, me and you. We were watching. We've watched Art Attack.
Oh yeah, that was an early show.
Yeah, we go into some crazy things. So when I feel like if I'm quarantined and it's going to be like multiple weeks of this, I'm going to just like go insane. I do beats and stuff, so I do that to kind of.
But I think it's a great time to embrace that sort of thing, because I so often go through Netflix and be like, what do I want to watch? And I
Right.
spend ages. Just click on something.
Yeah.
Click on something.
Sharknado.
See what it is. Oh, there's that Velocipasta film. I really want to see that. I think we've talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's just it's crazy because like we are people, we joke on this show all the time how well we like to go out, we like to have a good time, and we can't do that right now.
Can't, no.
We literally can't. We're stuck inside, and it's just crazy. Last weekend I went out with my friend, and he wanted to get a tattoo really badly, and then this whole pandemic was happening. He's like, I need to get this done. I want it now before I have to wait like who knows how long. So he was getting it done, and I'm like, it's safe. Like what? It's like, you know, it's a contained, they're clean. It's a clean atmosphere, a tattoo shop, realistically. But he's getting a tattoo on his forearm, and this dude walks in who we don't know, but is apparently friends with a tattoo artist. And he's like coming to his friend who's at work, tattooing my friend's arm, and is trying to talk to him like in secret. But the guy's tattooing my friend's arm, and explains to the tattoo artist that he is accidentally tripping on LSD.
Oh, geez.
And now he's inside a tattoo shop. So I'm like, I get the chair out, cross my legs.
How is he accidentally tripping on LSD?
So I was hesitant to believe the guy, obviously, but then I realized, you know, as one does, that he was in fact doing that. So then he went into a whole, you know, like everyone these days thinks they're scientists or doctors. Like they go, oh, well, I heard that Corona thing started all because someone fucked a bat, and then that's how that like rumor starts. You know what I mean? Like everyone thinks they know something you didn't know. They're like, oh well, wait, you got an itchy ear? Well, that means you got coronavirus. So this guy was now tripping on acid in a tattoo shop, trying to like tell me everything I needed to know about COVID-19. So somehow he thought me trying to tell him what COVID means, that means if you get it, then you get arrested. I tried to tell him this.
Right.
And that it's not COVID-19, you become convict 19. So I made sure this guy had a great Sunday. So now I'm calling myself Convict 19, baby, because that's what I am. Stuck in the BD, the Braden Davie estate. We don't have any symptoms, right?
No, okay? We're good. Yeah, we're good right now.
I know I have a cough, but that's because I'm hitting the bong. So I don't know.
Oh, cover your mouth. Wash your hands.
I'm washing my hands like even more. I'm not a germaphobe by any means, but I have a thing about like I have an OCDs I've never discussed, but this is gonna sound way cheekier than it means to be. I can't wear pants in bed. You think about your pants that you sit on anywhere you go through the day. Why would you want that in your bed?
Oh, I never do. Yeah, I know. I wear pajamas.
When you tell people that, they're like, oh, because you want to take your pants off. I'm like, no, I'll change into new pants if that's the deal. But like no pants. And when you're out, you got to wash your hands. So wash your hands is what everyone should be doing more often here.
Absolutely.
So it's just been a pandemic. It's been chaos.
It has. But our Wednesdays have been pretty normal so far. We cooked our meal today.
Oh, right.
I went simple today. Okay. There's too much stress. I just made a bolognese. But I want to talk about last week's meal because we forgot to mention it.
Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah. So I want to just shout out Patrick Herbert, who has been a listener of ours for a while and loves our Wednesday night meal.
This is crazy.
Chat.
Yeah, this is kind of awesome.
And says he works for this company called Kulawa Spices.
Right.
And they make kind of like fusion spices for food, and he was like, can I ship you some of our spices and you give it a go and cook for your show?
Patrick loves when we talk about, we've done all the NXT meals like the lamb and grimes, I don't know what else have we, the Bobby Fish,
the beef Busick,
Coderick Strong, the beef Keith Bulgogi,
the Dakota Kai green curry.
Green curry. We've done all the NXT. So it was just awesome and amazing that someone who's listening was like, hey, I work in this kind of industry and I can help you out. So last week, I chose one of the spices, and it was like a Caribbean kind of, it was like a blend. It was like a curry. It was almost like a Jamaican jerk spice mixed with some sort of curry at the same time. And I don't even remember, what did I make a whole pot of something last
so
week.
we made like a jerk chicken curry last week.
I didn't come up with a clever name for it.
We completely forgot to promote it on the show because there was shit like Tom Hanks getting COVID and all that. It was wild. But it was delicious, and we still
Yeah.
got the 3 other spices to try. So just want to give a shout out. It's kulawaspices.co.uk. That's spelled Kulawa spices, as you spell spices.co.uk. And they're a non-profit business, and they donate all their profits to hunger project charities, and aiming to take like societies out of poverty. All their packaging is eco-friendly,
Really
and
amazing,
reusable.
I'm really happy that this is, to me, this is really cool.
It's
I know
really cool.
me and you just do a show where we talk about wrestling and talk out our asses most of the time, and we joke about how we make food for each other every Wednesday, and some people would say it's cute because we make food for each other. We're very cute, but and it's just awesome that someone who uses a podcast app listens to 2 guys talking about NXT wrestling, who also mentioned the meal that they make every Wednesday, and he listens to us and enjoys our show, and was like, "Yeah, well, if they're gonna cook, well, why not use my spices?"
Yeah.
So I think the internet's wild, just crazy. So I love that. Thank you, Patrick.
So thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
And
But
yeah, check out, this is time of giving. Check out Patrick's store. Also, just like, if you're ordering takeout, give a good tip.
yeah,
Any of these things. If you have tickets for something that's been cancelled, if it's like a local theater production, whatever, think before, how much do you need that refund? Because a lot of these companies going under, whether that be being an indie show at WrestleMania weekend, your local theater production, whatever. WrestleMania, WWE, fuck you, I'm getting my money back for that show. But there's a lot of people struggling right now. So if you can, be generous.
Yeah,
I'd say
it's a crazy time. I mean, we've been hearing about this thing for weeks. Even on this show, we've been joking about it. We're like, oh, this thing seems like it's gonna.
Oh, we were very blasé.
Oh yeah, we think it's gonna blow over, and now it's like become this whole like epidemic, this chaos, as I've been saying. So yeah, it's nuts, and it's weird, guys. I miss wrestling.
Yeah.
The past few days, I've been coming home from work, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit in bed, smoke a thing, and watch some wrestling. And there's nothing to watch. There's no New Japan. That's when I'm really upset. When I treat New Japan as I need 30 minutes of a match that's in the past month. There's always like in being a wrestling fan, the hot match that's recent, and there was supposed to be Ospreay and Shingo, the rematch.
Yeah. Well, that whole tournament.
Yeah, the whole tournament.
That
and
whole
I was
tournament.
like, okay, I'm looking super forward to that. The wrestling fan, the nerdy wrestling fan that sits and watches this, I didn't get that, and it's been hurting. It's weird with no WrestleMania. I want them to postpone it. I don't think this is a good idea, doing it with no crowd in the Performance Center. I think it's really lame. I think it's just an easy way out. I would do what they've been doing tonight here on NXT with these videos and stuff. Maybe stretch that out on TV for a while, air old matches. I don't know. But doing a WrestleMania in a PC with no people, I think it's just kind of lame.
The problem is it's how long no one knows how long this is going for.
Yeah.
I agree. I was hoping for a postponement. I wanted to go. I've been since WrestleMania 30. I've been going to WrestleMania. I wanted to go, and
the streak is broken.
The streak is broken, but the problem is we don't know how long this is going to go on for. I thought maybe you do an event and burn through some of the matches and hold off some. Watching Raw and SmackDown has been painful. I think NXT, which we'll get into, did a pretty good job tonight under the circumstances. Sure. But watching tonight's NXT, I'm going, why are we having this shit on Raw? I know you're not a big fan, but take Drew McIntyre, for example. There's an hour's worth of material there for a documentary. Reach out to Impact Wrestling and ICW and those kind of things. Get the footage. Show him being the chosen one. Like, go in detail of when he was this young kid being handpicked by Vince McMahon, to going to 3MB and being like the joke of WWE, to getting fired, to going to ICW and in like TNA and all the indies and that, to getting his name back up, to coming back to NXT, to being NXT champion, to moving to Raw. You could fill an hour easily. We saw what they did with Gargano and Ciampa tonight.
It's true.
And I think whether you're a fan of him as a wrestler or not, I think there's a very compelling story to tell there.
Yeah.
Which they've hinted at it in promos anyway. Why not do it.
You're gonna get it on Raw this week.
I think you need to. That's where you need to go. Edge, like, do that documentary of him returning. You've got a few weeks of stuff you can fill. Without having fucking Stone Cold looking the lamest he's ever fucking looked.
I love
beating
that
up.
That was one of the best segments I've ever seen. With Byron Saxton.
Byron Saxton is the lamest person in WWE.
Of course.
Anyway,
I mean, he was trying to be lame, but
he is lame.
Yeah,
and like
is.
Stone. My girlfriend saw it and she was like, "This is like really bad stand-up comedy."
I don't like it.
She doesn't know who Stone Cold is, and I was like, "That's how bad this is." Because this guy here is
Stone Cold.
Is the best.
Yeah.
If anyone can entertain in an empty arena, it's this guy. And
I don't know. I loved him kicking him in the balls, though. I watched that clip a few times. I just don't like the empty crowd. I know there's dirt sheets saying like, oh, there's talks of MSG and stuff. It's like, sure, that's all rumors, but I just think, you know, it's like anything. The NBA, all that stuff, they're on. It's stopped.
Yeah.
So just stop. Just take a second. Cancel the show. Don't cancel it. Postpone. And then when this is cleared, you know, pray that it's like July, that we're finally able to leave our houses. And then you go, hey, cool, who can host us really quickly for this cool, crazy? And then when you book that, that's going to be like the hottest ticket. That's going to be the craziest ticket to a show ever. Someone's going to be like, yo, I'm going to this show. It can be in fucking Corpus Christi and it would get lit.
Realistically, if this was to drag on, though,
think
what matches could we burn through and do these documentary style things?
Rhea Ripley, Charlotte.
Sure. So do don't have matches on TV at all.
Yeah.
Do this documentary style. Maybe have I'll get into it, but have a cruiserweight match or something like that. But in 4 weeks' time, we're having Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley. Empty arena. I know it's not ideal.
Yeah.
But you build it up as it's a one-match show. The whole like first 2 hours or whatever is the kind of pre-show where you're building up the other feuds. You've got some new interviews, you've got some backstage segments, and you do that match. To have, as we're recording right now, I believe WrestleMania is the 4th and the 5th. They're doing 2 days. They're saying, I assume it's because of this, no more than 10 people.
Yep.
Raw going on. They're going to do it at loads of different remote, empty arena locations.
Crazy.
But still, just unless you got Asuka front row for every match.
Triple H and Asuka together on commentary.
I think for now, wait to see. Like, could we potentially be going in for SummerSlam in a month's time?
Yeah.
Then maybe rethink.
Don't do SummerSlam and just do WrestleMania in the summer.
And it's very easy for us to like just sit and watch and comment on what they can do and what they're doing wrong. But I do think NXT did it right. And the thing I find fascinating though is there's been zero mention on WWE TV about coronavirus, pandemic, virus, COVID-19.
Yeah.
They're just acting like Kevin Owens' promo on Monday. It's like, Seth Rollins, you know where I want to face you? You said anywhere, anytime? Well, you know what? I want to face you in my home, in the Performance Center. It's like, you just want to face him there? You don't fancy
it? It's like today on NXT. They're just like, you know what you guys should know? You should know the history of all these feuds.
Yeah.
That's what you should know that.
Whereas realistically, anytime, any place will be, I'm just going to wait till the big stadium's open again.
I wanted that big money match.
Yeah.
I wonder if the wrestlers get paid the same amount they were going to get paid.
I mean, who knows?
Right.
A load of people aren't being paid anything right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's true. It's crazy. It's a mad world. So if I think they should just postpone it. But
I agree.
They're announcing it and it's going forward. So I guess I'm still taking the day off.
All it takes is one person in that company to get it, though.
Of course.
And this is done.
It's over. So either they're lying,
or instead we're going to hear Samoa Joe has been suspended for 30 days for violating the wellness policy. How many wellness policies are just going to be fucking got COVID?
No, I bet you right now someone in the WWE has it because it's just getting everywhere now. It's leaking everywhere. If everyone has it, it's somewhere, and it's because you go somewhere that had someone else walk by that had some connection to someone else who had it. Like just that's how it's working. So it's just crazy. Look, I said everyone's becoming a scientist.
Yes.
Comes with this. Well, so the NXT we're talking about tonight is not quite the NXT we're so used to.
Could I maybe go into a bit of wrestling before NXT? Because
there
was technically an NXT match in the last week, and that was on 205 Live.
True.
There was a 10-man tag. A lot of people tweeted me, and WH was at me being like, you got to see this 10-man tag. So it's like...
Yeah, he also told me to watch The Last Jedi, so don't know if I should listen.
But no, I thought this match was pretty good, and I think one of the best matches they've done in these like empty arena settings. So it was Team 205 OGs and Mike Kanellis, which was Arya Daivari, Brian Kendrick, Tony Nese, and Gentleman Tats Gallagher.
And Mike Kanellis.
And Mike Kanellis. With the Singh brothers versus Team NXT, which was Isaiah Swerve Scott, Tyler Breeze, Danny Burch, Oni Lorcan, and it was meant to be Leo Rush, but he got taken out by Jack Gallagher.
Well, you know why?
Why?
Oh, you don't know why?
No.
Oh, he does. He says he doesn't feel comfortable wrestling right now.
Oh, good for him.
He says no, I don't want to wrestle.
Fair enough. Good for him. They whipped up themselves, but it's like the 1-2 emoji. I think we need them.
I know last week on After NXT, every Wednesday we watch NXT and then we do our show on YouTube live and like recording, upload the show to our podcast apps and all that. Just wine burped. And last week we had a little wine, I'm sure. I think we had some bubbly last week. We were classy.
We had fucking everything last week.
We had some bubbly last week, and we decided to. You ever online shop, but you've had a little something in your system. So last week we put in an order that may or may not have been almost $500.
So I messaged Braden a couple of days ago. It was like, hey, it's been shipped. I've got the receipt. I've broken down what you owe me. It's this much. And you're like, shit.
I was like, whoa.
But I was like, I know when we were putting this order through at 4 a.m. watching AEW, I was going, okay, I just want to run it by you.
I remember.
You want this? You want this? You want this? You want this? I'm like, it's a lot, Braden. Yeah. Just tell me how much I owe you.
Tell me how much I owe you.
I just want to go through once again. This, and this. It's this much. You're like, yeah. And this is in US dollars, not Canadian. So it's going to be more in Canadian. You're like, yeah, fuck it.
Well, I'm excited. I know that we have our friend Scrump, friend of the show, PWT Cast, Scrump. And he just randomly sends us stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And, we love that. Don't get me wrong. It has our benefits being his friend. He's our friend with benefits. But
you can't have them anymore.
Speak for yourself. No, I'm joking.
You're moving out if that's the case.
Now's not the time for hooking up and all that. Dangerous time. Well, we thought, Scrump always hooks us up, and we kind of felt bad. So we wanted to place an order without him involved.
Yes.
We just told him after the fact, like, hey, make sure it's actually, he knows where to ship. He knows where everything. And with this whole pandemic, we're like, hey, are you guys shipping and stuff? So
it was shipped today.
Excellent. So we're going to have some new Pro Wrestling Tee stuff. I know I got a Kenny Omega hat, shirt in there, an Inner Circle hat. I don't need any of these things. Now I'm regretting it completely. Did I need to spend over $200 on Pro Wrestling Tees?
Oh,
it
was definitely a bad time for me to buy a new MacBook
and
get drunk and buy. Hey, I'm losing my job in a week. How about I drop $2,000 on a fucking MacBook?
If you listening want to know what kind of people we are, it all started with me saying, what would be nice? We need to buy one of Scrump's Pro Wrestling Tee Cast's T-shirts. And you said absolutely. And then from that, the cart just grew. You just added to the cart.
But also, that conversation probably started at 1 a.m. and the order went through at like 4:23 a.m.
Scrump, I messaged Scrump like 2 days after. I was like, hey, by the way, just letting you know, we put an order through with a bunch of shit. You're gonna see our names. So I just don't want you to not tell you. So we did order. And he's like, oh, I see the order. And it was made at 4:33 a.m. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. Yeah, he understood. He understood what kind of order. I wish you could get a shirt that had Jack Gallagher's flags on it.
Oh, it will come. It will come, I'm sure.
Not yet?
Not yet. It'll come.
You get a turtleneck? an AEW turtleneck.
Cody's
neck.
That would be good.
That would be lit.
That's a good idea.
Oh my god! And I just
that's good. So they accidentally. So Kushida was the surprise entrant of this match because Lio Rush was taken out. But as the 205 guys are coming out first, they play as Titantron. They play the countdown. It goes like 10, 9, and then it's like, oh shit. So you're like, it's Kushida.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts off. It's mainly Kanellis and Nice just tagging each other in. They form this new team. It all breaks down, and the Sings interfere and take out Birch. So Nice pins him, and Danny Birch is the first to be eliminated. Gallagher then enters and eliminates Tyler Breeze with a cool-looking pinning combination. Gallagher's great at those kind of things. I hate roll-ups, but I love roll-ups when it looks like, how are you going to get out of that pin? You're definitely struggling. I hate where it's, I'm surprised for 3 seconds.
Yeah, true.
And Gallagher does this great pinning combination where Tyler Breeze, his shoulders are just trapped down to the mat. There's a half and half suplex from Lorcan, eliminating Nice. Kanellis is then begging Gallagher to be tagged in. So Gallagher's like, all right, in you come. And Lorcan and Kanellis have this great chopping sequence. I'm not a big fan of Mike Kanellis. To be honest, I hadn't really seen any of his stuff before this WWE run, and his WWE run has been nothing special. But this was actually a really fun moment here between Oney Lorcan and Mike Kanellis. They were just going really hard at each other. And because this performance center is so empty, these chops are just echoing. They're just ringing out.
How do you guys call spots in these things? You can't. John Cena can't wrestle.
No.
Wyatt.
Gallagher is then wanting to be tagged in, but Kanellis refuses, and Nice pulls Gallagher off the apron. So Gallagher takes out Nice and then headbutts his own teammate, Mike Kanellis, and Lorcan eliminates him. Gallagher's then tagged in and comes in with these vicious strikes. Swerve rolls up Davie and eliminates him, and then manages to do the same right away to Brian Kendrick. So it's 3-on-1, Team NXT against Jack Gallagher, but Davie and Kendrick refuse to leave and beat down Swerve. They beat up Kushida, beat up Lorcan. Lorcan and Gallagher are then having a fun exchange, but Gallagher manages to pin him with essentially the Judas effect. It's the rolling elbow.
Not good as Jericho's, though, right?
I'd say it's different. It looked pretty good. Gallagher climbs to the top and jumps off to the outside with a crossbody to take out Swerve. He then hits the gentleman's drop kick for a 2, which is like the Daniel Bryan running drop kick to the corner.
Yeah, it looks good.
There's the baseball punch from Kushida. Swerve hits his move he's calling pop culture, which is where he, how Pentagon like snaps the arm back. It's like that, but doing the snap, he kicks you in the shoulder as well. It looked really cool.
What does he call it?
Pop culture. So it's like popping the shoulder. Yeah. Hits this to Gallagher, and then this is the moment that's been gift a lot. He does a wheelbarrow on Gallagher, launching him in the air. Kushida jumps up, grabs the arm that's just been popped down into an armbar. Jack Gallagher taps out.
Oh, c'est magnifique. Ichiban. That is crazy. How many times on the show do I say, I just want to watch Kushida hit flying armbars out of nowhere, and he wins the match with it?
Yeah.
Insane. Double team armbar here. Crazy.
This match was a lot of fun. There are people like Nice can impress, but I feel he's just been there so long, floundering, that I don't take him seriously. Kendrick and Davie do absolutely nothing for me. Kanellis actually was quite interesting here. He surprised me here in his bit with Lorcan, and obviously he has this kind of little feud going on with Jack Gallagher, which I'm sure you're going to see on 205. But Jack Gallagher was really the star of the match. Say what you will, whether you like or not his new look, but he feels kind of rejuvenated.
Yeah, definitely. He looks totally different. He looks cool.
He was fantastic here. The finish sequence with Swerve and Kushida as well, that could maybe be a little fun tag team we could see down the line. But for a week with not much wrestling, this was definitely one I'd go out of your way to see if you want your little wrestling fix.
Yeah, and Team NXT.
Yes.
Up in the house there. Kushida. That arm, that's crazy. How do you do that? Just flying. He did it off the top, like what, last week?
Yeah.
On NXT? It's just crazy. I did catch that match. I just didn't write anything down. I just had it on. It's just weird watching wrestling in an empty arena.
For sure.
Just crazy. Just insane.
To be, it's going to sound bad, but
Yeah.
with this match, I didn't notice so much because I'm so used to watching 205 and it be quiet. And I don't even mean that as a joke.
Right.
But I appreciated the quality of the match.
Yeah.
And was used to zero reaction.
Yeah, I guess they're used to it. But
whereas a returning Edge against Randy Orton in a last man standing match, I kind of feel that's going to be a bit weird.
2, yeah, just crazy. How do you call spots? That's it. You're just screwed. You're just so screwed. Well, there was no spots to call on the NXT tonight because there was no matches. It did somewhat take place from the Performance Center. NXT from March 18th, 2020, during this whole COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. The WWE is still putting out their shows here on Wednesday night. We are hosted by Tom Phillips and Triple H. I guess I could say the hosts, rather, are Tom Phillips and Triple H. Now, I know Triple H. He's got to be tall. He's Triple H. Tom Phillips, the famous Tom Phillips crouched kind of lean thing where he's taller than a lot of the wrestlers. Wonder if he was doing it next to Triple H because he's tall.
He wasn't doing it so much. I did look out, but there were times he was stood slightly further back, though.
Always, because he's so tall.
Yeah.
But I love Tom Phillips. Bless him. He said, they both say, rather, that they're here tonight. They don't mention, like you said, anything. They just don't even explain why they're here.
They treat this like it's an episode of NXT airing on Christmas Day. Yeah. It felt like to me.
Yeah. So they say tonight we're going to hear from Rhea Ripley. We're going to hear from Prince. Sorry, I was going to say Prince Devitt, but they mean Prince Balor. Finn Balor. But we're also going to go through the history, the story behind Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano here in NXT. And when I say they're going through the history, I mean we're spending maybe an hour plus.
It's an hour and 15.
Hour 15 on the saga of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Now, we both looked at each other and went, shit, because we do a show called Best Match Ever, where we dissect best matches that people say. We've done the Austin Rock trilogy of WrestleMania matches where we watched all of them. We watched all of the matches that they've ever competed in one-on-one and discussed their rivalry and the videos and the segments leading up to each match and the whole feud and rivalry. And we thought in the back of our head when we created this podcast for our Patreon Best Match Ever that this would be the easiest one to go to because it's in modern wrestling history, in any of wrestling, Ciampa Gargano, one of the best feuds in wrestling.
Yeah.
And here they are doing this whole thing on the show for an hour. We're like, damn it, they just did it for us. Well, we'll get to that show, I guess, in the later future.
Yeah.
Because
when the world's recovered.
Yeah. So if you don't know the history of Ciampa and Gargano, well, you're in for a treat. This, as much as I miss wrestling, and I do miss watching some wrestling, these videos are cool. And this was like watching like a documentary about the actual whole few years of this feud.
Yeah, and when you think this feud was never a part of the USA era of NXT.
Right.
So there might be a lot of people that have missed out on all this. And especially when a lot of people are starved for sport and entertainment right now with things being cancelled, there might be new people watching this and seeing this whole story. I thought it was done very well in this kind of documentary style. For regular fans, I can also appreciate being, hey, I'm sick of Gargano and Ciampa. I've been watching this product for years. Right. I've seen the whole story. I've seen them recap this story every time they have a match. I get that. I did think they did it very well, though.
Well, you just loved it because they go through the whole history here, and you're at like all their matches. You were like, oh, I was there.
Pretty much.
There.
Yeah.
I was at that one. I was at that one. The history here is pretty crazy. They show videos from like 2015, even beyond that, of Gargano and Ciampa training together in Performance Center. They knew each other, but they weren't like boys. Like they knew of each other for years, but like never really were friends, didn't click. And then they were just randomly put together training there. They joke in this, it cuts from clips to individual sit-down interviews that are all put together. This is a very complex, really put together video package here for the show tonight. But it shows like the clips of them wrestling. Like they look so different from what they look like right now.
It was when they were doing their tryouts.
Yeah.
And they're told basically neither get a contract because they go, we've only got so many contracts. And they both said, we thought we killed it.
Yeah.
Like, we thought we really killed it. We actually felt pretty confident that we'd get it. But we're basically told, if you were 6'8", it would be a different story.
Right.
But unfortunately, not today. Did you spot who else was there in the performance?
I was trying to see, but who was there?
So I think Chucky T was on 2 channels tonight.
It looked like Chucky T. I thought it was, yeah.
So that was quite funny.
Yeah, it did look like him, actually, now that I think back.
But I'm pleased they decided, because I thought they might ignore like the CWC and that kind of stuff.
Right.
They went way back even before that, which I liked.
So they became friends. They both joked that they were kind of paired to share some rental cars together. And that's really kind of how you become friends with someone, either drinking or sitting in isolation, right?
Yeah.
New relationships are going to be working out great. There's going to be so many babies in 9 months. Holy shit. So back in 2015, they're paired together and they don't get the contracts, but they're not necessarily told to go home. They're just like, yo, you're not getting contracts.
Yeah.
And, it'd be really interesting to know from that group who got the contracts. Was it a Riddick Moss type deal? Who was there that got them over these two? Because it worked out in their favor, you could say, because they were paired together. And Ciampa in this interview mentions that in the PC, they had they do matches. They put on matches, I guess, to like WrestleMania is going to do, to no crowd in the Performance Center. And that Ciampa and Gargano were like, oh, like this little ditty we just came up with was like pretty good. Like we have some cool ideas. We mesh well together. And they joked to each other like, oh, we hope that we can work together again down the line. And then they didn't get contracts, but they became like, I don't know, what do we call them on NXT on Wednesdays? We don't
Friends.
We don't like to say the word job.
Oh, enhancement talent.
We call them enhancement talent, which we never really got the conclusion to our best enhancement talent of the year.
Where is he?
Where's Raul Mendoza? Holy shit. Get well.
He's locked in a room. And
I hope he's fine.
I'm going to give you a load of Gargano and Ciampa footage, and you need to make this thing. He's just editing everything. Everything for the next month's worth of WWE TV.
I finally realized what happened to Raul Mendoza. Last week, he wins a match. He's leaving. He's in the parking lot. He's leaving. And he's kidnapped by 2 guys in masks who are supposedly like up-and-coming indie wrestlers signed to NXT. But I think that last Wednesday, it was his friends being like, yo, Raul, this pandemic's freaking out. We got to get you isolated right now. And they did the right thing. That's probably what happened.
He's just sitting on a mountain of toilet paper right now.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now. Ladies, I got the TP. You know where to find me.
No ladies are coming into this house.
It's okay. I just wait for you to go to your girlfriend's
I can
house.
spray him down.
The lights off?
Yeah.
Shirelle. You know it only kills 99.9%, David.
We're going to wear the luchador masks we have and just fucking
scare him out. You should see the masks I have that I don't show you.
No. Get on with the review.
So Ciampa and Gargano become this kind of tag team in NXT. And I remember going back and I remember watching at this time, and they were like enhancement talent, but you knew these two were like indie darlings essentially. And they're now enhancement talent. They're jobbers here at NXT. It's just not right. But they were killing it every time you watch them on NXT.
They were brought in for the, they didn't actually bring it up here, but they were brought in for the Dusty Classic.
Yes. So they become DIY. Nobody's going to do it for you. You better do it yourself. And I always thought that was easy money right there. Yeah, these two guys are told no. They're going to do it themselves. And this story is pretty crazy because that's what they do. They become boys. They have the Cruiserweight Classic happening at Full Sail. We just did a show for Up Yours a few months ago reviewing a bunch of the Cruiserweight Classic on our Patreon. So it was cool to go back and watch that. But a match that stands out from that tournament to me is the first time you get a real taste of Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. And in this video here tonight, you kind of get something I didn't really know. And that was that Gargano was picked to be in the tournament, but Ciampa was not. So Ciampa, pissed off, and he says in this video tonight, he went to Triple H and was like, yo, what the hell? I want to be in this thing too. You can just put me in. I'll just dip out on the first bracket. Just put me in. So he gets booked. Ciampa versus Gargano, friend versus friend, tag team partner versus tag team partner in the Cruiserweight Classic, and then it goes into this match.
And it's the last match of the opening round. So they're saying this whole thing was talked about, but they didn't really know what the buzz was going to be like for it. This is the final match of the first round, and they've seen 15 other matches, and Ciampa's going, he feels the buzz on match 15 in the crowd and knows at that point, oh, we're going to kill it. Yeah. We're going to create something really special right now.
And they did. That match, I've watched it a few times because it's like something cool. It's a gem on the WWE Network. If you've not seen it, go watch it, especially after watching this here tonight. And it's like, what, maybe 10, 15 minutes, but it's just awesome. Ciampa and Gargano kill it, like they said, but Gargano wins.
Yeah. Ciampa even says, like, that we're artists here, and they put on something there that he's proud of. Basically, if he were to retire at that moment, he'd be proud because he put out kind of one masterpiece.
It's very true. It's very true. Like I'm imagining a lot of these wrestlers. You can tell we fans can tell which guys. We were just discussing off air. Well, later we're going to discuss some mention of Bobby Lashley.
Yeah,
you can just tell when a guy just maybe doesn't like wrestling. He's just there. Maybe he knows how to wrestle and knows how to wrestle. Maybe okay, but doesn't actually care about it.
Goes through the motions.
Yeah. Whereas you watch a guy who literally on this thing says artist. Yeah. I do this because it's an art and I treat it as art. That's when I watch Johnny Gargano. I watch Ciampa. I watch guys like Kenny Omega. I think of art when I watch wrestling. Everything is done for a reason. Every little thing. It's storytelling. This is what it's a show that we're watching, that we're taking in. So them kind of breaking down this Cruiserweight Classic match was really cool. But the moment of that match is where Ciampa is going to go for like an exposed knee strike, but doesn't do it. He hesitates because it's his friend, which costs him the match, and Johnny got the win. And the camera cuts to Johnny, and he's like, "Do you think you're better than Ciampa?" And he's like, "Do I think I'm better than Ciampa? Well, my name's not Johnny Wrestling for no reason." Yeah. So he's kind of cocky here.
And this was the point in this documentary where everything up until this point was pretty much like
babyface
just behind the scenes,
right?
And now they're blurring the lines between like kayfabe and real life because they're going like, "Oh, we weren't signed by them, and I was pushing to get this match," and then Ciampa's going, "Yeah, I lost it. Gargano didn't win. I lost it by letting my guard down for a second."
So then they had the chemistry there. Obviously, it was undeniable. They get sort of some push in the tag team world of wrestling, and they start being elevated and start getting some marquee matches. They get a takeover match together, DIY versus the Revival in Takeover Brooklyn. And this is the match where Johnny taps out. So then they're now talking about how Johnny regrets tapping out. Ciampa says, yeah, that match was awesome. It was our first big state, like arena in Brooklyn, but Johnny tapped out. I didn't tap out. Johnny tapped out. After that match, things were going great for them. They sign, they move to Orlando, and as everyone kind of knows, it was Johnny who had married Candice with Ciampa in the wedding party. They all lived together in the same apartment. They were roommates in Florida. So then they had Takeover Toronto, and that's the match where it was we were both there.
Yep.
At their Takeover Toronto. One of my favorite matches I've ever been to live was this 2 out of 3 falls DIY versus Revival. Just crazy. This is a match you can rewatch a million times. It's just fantastic. And it shows here them kind of explaining and breaking down, like, this was us showing the world, like, this was our moment. This is what we had to do. We wanted to become champions so bad, and we will do anything to get it. And we finally got there, and we did it. And it's like them get the double submission tap out at the end on Revival. Just crazy. So they finally did it. And, what happens when you get to the top?
You can only fall.
Exactly. So that's what happened. Johnny says, if Takeover Toronto was a dream come true, San Antonio was a nightmare. So that's where they lost the titles on the first attempt from not DIY, their DIY from AOP. So they had a few matches there with AOP, and Ciampa in this video is like, yeah, Johnny's the star of these matches, and he was sticking out. And everyone's saying that in Toronto, Johnny was a star, but here we are losing all these matches now. Is it Johnny's fault? Kind of thing. They then have a takeover in Chicago in the main event, AOP DIY in a tag team ladder match. And this match was crazy. And this was where Ciampa is about to eat a ladder from AOP, but Johnny blocks it, sacrifices himself, eats the ladder in the face. AOP still win the titles, but after the match, the logo comes up and Ciampa turns on Johnny.
Yes.
One of the biggest turns ever.
Yes.
So it goes into detail about that here. So this whole thing, I like how they just play off that this is just cool. He's like, yeah, I had to turn on Johnny. Sorry, Johnny, because he's a good guy.
Well,
now,
he's admitting it. It wasn't that he was like Johnny was losing it. He was saying
he was
worried that Johnny would ditch him,
right?
Because they both wanted that gold and that glory again. But listening to the crowds, he felt they were all like Johnny was outshining him. Every match, Johnny was the star. And he goes, it always goes one way. Someone like elevates and the other just disappears. So he's kind of using this like, yeah, I turned on him. I did what I had to do because I needed to look out for myself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he could be ditching me.
So Ciampa turns on him. He says, I did what I had to do. It was basically just business. It was best for business. Really, is what he says. But then he was injured after this attack. If you remember correctly, he attacks Gargano, but then he's injured. So the storyline can't continue. So it's kind of put on the shelf, and Gargano's just left there. So Gargano here says, what was I to do? He takes me out, embarrasses me, and then leaves because he's injured. Where am I supposed to go from there? I'm just sitting there waiting, angry, upset. So Johnny Gargano tries to find Johnny wrestling again. And that's when he started, in that losing slump, and then started rebuilding, regaining, and then finally getting to a match you so love, which you were there as well. Gargano versus Andrade. Andrade versus Gargano and Chill. Gargano, what is it? Gargano
v. Almas. Do you remember when he was Almas?
Sorry, yeah, exactly. Yeah, true. Yeah, CN.
It's an okay match.
It's an okay match?
It's okay. It's all right.
Best match ever?
Best match ever.
What are we going to do for best match ever, Gargano versus Almas? We just watch it 5 times in a row?
But they had 3, didn't they? Do you remember when that dude got hot with us? Because he was like, yo, you keep saying this is the best match.
Yeah, and you watched the wrong one?
It's fine. It's like, oh yeah, you watched that one from a takeover like a year before.
Oh yeah, this guy heard us just talk about this match.
He watched the Brooklyn one.
So he goes and watches the match. He's like, yeah, the match was good, but like, fuck. And we're like, no, dude, we're talking about the other one. And then he comes back. He's like, oh shit, that match was great. That match was lit. We're like, yeah, you watched the wrong one. To be clear, the one you're talking about is from
Philadelphia.
TakeOver Philly.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrade versus Gargano.
Yeah.
And Chill. Which your boy John Gargano sent in the video. Yeah. We told him our appreciation for this match. You put on this match, your wildest dreams could come true.
YouTube.com/upNXT.
Yeah, the video's on there of Johnny on our YouTube explaining this very match. But was it DIY that costed Johnny that match? Because it was Zelina who threw the DIY shirt. In this, Ciampa's like, yo, I wasn't even there. I didn't even do anything. What wasn't my fault? Like, I wasn't there. Clearly, Johnny had me on his mind. And that's what cost him. So he never really got the title. Johnny never got the title from Andrade, so he never became champion. And then he got a rematch on NXT TV, and that's when Ciampa came back and attacked Johnny Gargano again, which then sets up this whole thing at TakeOver New Orleans. Which, tell me, David, were you there too?
I was there.
We have an unsanctioned match, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. And this match was awesome. This was, like I said, this is one of the best feuds in wrestling ever, Johnny Gargano and Ciampa. This video they aired tonight did it justice. Me describing it kind of does not. Johnny Gargano obviously won that unsanctioned match with the crutches involved, with the
knee brace across the face.
The knee brace across the face. That's it. And it shows all that. It shows them then having rematches. It shows how Johnny accidentally helped Ciampa win the title. Then the Chicago street fight. There's the last man standing match. They go through all this stuff. They show Johnny turning heel at one point.
Yeah, so this bit was quite funny. That throughout it, I like the way they're trying to justify moments, because the Gargano heel turn was a bit random.
I loved it.
It was fun.
That's
like,
one of my.
It was a great reveal.
Was that when he turned up that he was the one who took out? He was
Yeah.
the one who shot JR. Essentially, he was the one who shot Aleister Black.
Exactly.
And that was I'm right here.
But he's saying like, I needed Ciampa to believe I'm like him to get him into the position. It's like, dude, you like attempted to kill a guy in a car park.
Attacked a guy for so long and didn't want anyone to know. It dragged out for so long.
Like, he was out. That's some assault to take someone out for a couple of months. He's like, I just needed Ciampa to feel like I was like him. It's like, all right.
I love it.
But you notice in this video, they don't show any of the Aleister Black feud.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I won the North American champion. I reformed DIY. I wanted Ciampa to think I'm like him. They kind of sell it like that, which, okay, cool. A slight little retcon there, but I'm cool with it.
They did it a lot in this video, to be completely honest, because they wanted to make you. Ciampa was so evil, but he's good now, guys. It's fine now. It's cool now. Yeah, I will say it again on this show. That short-term Gargano heel turn was one of my favorite things in wrestling. Like, how the fuck did I think I called it for the longest time where I was like, it's him. It's got to be him. And then I'm right here. One of my favorite. We used it on the show.
We did, yeah.
One of my favorite things in wrestling. They didn't even play that clip in this.
No.
I'm right here. So it shows that. It shows Johnny and Ciampa reforming DIY, but then there's the feud then now where they are feuding, but Ciampa is injured. The dream match, the one more match that they're gonna have to blow this whole feud out, is canceled because Ciampa is injured.
Yeah.
So the match is rescheduled to a match we both went to. I don't know, you may have heard of it. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole at TakeOver New York.
Up next match of the year, 2019.
Up next match of the year. I think both of us picked it in the post-wrestling best of 2019 as well. One of my favorite matches, maybe my favorite match I've ever seen live or rewatch value. We're discussing this whole episode tonight as being like a documentary movie style. And I always say the best matches in wrestling remind me of the movie. It's a start, middle, and end. And that match has it. And it's my favorite match. And they go over that. It shows Gargano finally winning the title. He's done it. He's got it. And Ciampa comes out afterwards. And it's like, oh, cheekiness.
I love this bit with Gargano. Okay, the guy's from Cleveland, Johnny Gargano. He turns like Boston at this point, or Boston or a New Yorker.
Right.
So he's like, so I've just won the match. It's my big moment. This should be my big crowning moment. And my former best friend's out there who is congratulating me, who's like giving me shit for this whole time. And I'm like, what's this guy gonna do? He's got a broken neck. I was like, where did that come from?
I was like, what's this guy
what's he gonna do? He got a broken neck.
He's got a broken neck. He's not gonna attack him.
He's not gonna do it. He's broken neck.
Fake out to attack him?
Off air, yeah.
Off air, yeah.
Off
we
air.
were there, but he does fake out.
What are you gonna do?
What's this guy gonna do? He's got a broken neck.
He's got a broken neck.
He's walking over here. He's walking over here. Yeah, true. John does look, I mean, his name's Gargano.
Yeah. He just goes super like that here. It's like, oh, that's not a voiceover.
It has to be said. Ciampa's wearing his t-shirt, his Ciampa WWE shirt, which not his Blackheart shirt.
No,
pro wrestling t-shirt.
His like playing card one.
I love the Blackheart stuff. We both have some of those shirts, but Gargano is rocking some like white spring jacket.
Do I need to get that? Because we dress the same.
You need to be like, yo, I don't want to bother you.
Hey, remember me?
Don't even say that. Just be like, dude, I want to know where you got that fucking jacket because that thing is hot. He's gonna tell you.
I'm gonna tweet him now.
He's gonna tell you that it's $800. You got to get a picture of the jacket first before you tweet him. Because that jacket is actually lit. I don't know what it is. Because like the Miz wears some stupid fucking ugly shit. Like he's playing the gimmick of he's Hollywood and he's wearing all that. He's wearing like Kanye shit. But it's actually atrocious. But what Johnny was rocking was pretty cool. So Gargano is champion. He's done what he's always wanted to do. But then he loses the title on his first offense again.
Yeah.
Just like in Gargano fashion. So Ciampa comes back and all of a sudden he's a good guy. Gargano's like, what's that about? What's the deal with that? Now he's Seinfeld. What's the deal with Ciampa? He used to be a bad guy, now he comes back.
Yeah.
Everyone likes him. He says, well, the people obviously took the Ciampa again, so I did what the people wanted, and we joined forces again, DIY, reunited. We fought at Worlds Collide, and everything was fine, and now Ciampa has his title opportunity. Gargano was the one to take that all away. They looked at each other in the eyes, and Ciampa says, I knew. Gargano says, I looked in his eyes. I knew.
He saw the same face he saw when like Ciampa turned on him, essentially.
And so this is what it's all about. It shows them fighting through the Performance Center last week. The place they were made. It cuts to Triple H. He says, look, they tore down the Performance Center last week. They tore down the place that brought them together in the first place, which I thought was a nice touch, which is really true considering like in this documentary, they showed the actual clips of them basically not really knowing each other in the Performance Center to then last week destroying the Performance Center as main eventers here. Really cool. It shows Gargano saying, you know, this guy spit on my wedding ring, so I'm going to, you know, kill him, essentially. Shows them beating each other up, but it kind of ends on that. It kind of tells you, hey, that's the whole saga of them. And you're like, whoa, that's fucking cool. Even if you're kind of a casual fan, I think watching that, you'd be like, whoa, how did I not watch any of that?
So a lot of people have been, and we've been kind of negative on it. And we're these guys' biggest fans. We've been negative on the kind of extra moment with this feud going forward again. This sold it to me, this whole video right there.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was telling more the story I think they should have been telling, though. For me, it's the story isn't over, and Johnny Gargano still needs to get his own back on Tommaso Ciampa.
Right.
But Ciampa's come back as a babyface. This video here made them seem more equal. It justified both of their times when they've been dicks, and I feel they should be more equal and let, I'm going to say the crowd, but you know what I mean. Like, let the audience decide.
This match might not happen. It might be added to one of those dates.
But that's how the story I feel should be. Be like, Gargano still hasn't forgotten the fucking trauma he got put through by this guy. But so it should be left a bit more open. There's that, I think it was going into Survivor Series 2001, where it was the Alliance against the WWE. And
you and the Alliance.
The Rock and Stone Cold sing Margaritaville.
Right.
And it ends and they're like bonding. It's the last, because storyline wise, one of them is going to be fired. So this is the last time Rock and Stone Cold, they're having a beer, they're drinking, and then The Rock goes, but Steve, The Rock will never forget. And Rock bottoms him. That's kind of how I want this feud to be. Like, we like Ciampa now, but Gargano, I'm never going to forget. And I felt this video gave me more that vibe, which I think is the right way this story should go. If we're ever going to get conclusion, it's kind of cursed, this final chapter. Cursed.
You never want to see this Hell in the Cell match ever. It's not happening.
It's not happening.
It might possibly be added to one of the days of WrestleMania.
Hell in a quarantine.
Hell in a quarantine. Oh, boy. That sounds bad. Will this match happen? It will one day. It will one day. One day at a later point. Card subject to change.
Yeah.
Times and places and everything because the coronavirus. So we might not see this match yet, but damn it, we will. This video was over an hour long.
Hey, if this match is happening in front of a crowd at some point in the next year, are we going?
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. LFG, baby.
I'm going to say it right now. It's not going to be as good as Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano.
Maybe. Who knows?
Boys and girls. Boys and girls.
Yeah, no, he got a broken neck.
He's got a broken neck. What's he going to do? Tom Phillips and Triple H are talking to us again. I love Triple H in this era of Triple H. The past few years, Triple H has just been great.
Question.
Yeah.
We all know what Triple H is like. We love Papa Paul. We love the daddy of NXT.
Yeah.
But we all know Triple H and his ego and his WrestleMania entrances. And who doesn't have a match on this year's WrestleMania?
He's going to add one.
Triple H.
He's going to add a match.
He knew. No, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to perform there.
He said, "Wait a second, I'm not on the card. This Mania is canceled. Canceled." We have now a video package kind of similar to what we just watched and talked about, but it's for the Prince. The Prince, you ask? The Prince of NXT, Prince Devitt, Finn Balor, the Demon, whatever you want to call him. He says he's the best. You see, he came to WWE. He signed because he was the best. And when he came to NXT, he was the best. What does he say? Done it. Done it.
Universal champion. Done it.
Done it.
NXT champion. Done it.
If it was me, I'd be like, don't air. I really want one right now. But I'm quarantined. So Finn Balor says he's the best. And when he had this like ruthless aggression when he came here in NXT, he beat Samoa Joe, he beat Kevin Steen, he beat everyone, and he proved it. And then he is the Raw draft pick, the first draft pick. And this was huge when he was picked. It's a big deal. It was like, whoa, they're changing things up for real here, making a new star. And he fought Seth Rollins for the newly made Universal Championship. And then
I was there as well.
Were you at that match? Oh god, that match was good, but the crowd really shit on it because that title.
Yeah.
And then he injured himself in that match, and it shows clips after the match here. And Triple H knew he's hurt, and he's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And he's like, "Ah, yeah, I'm fine."
He's playing it off because he's like, "Oh, it feels kind of loose," but in other interviews we've seen, like after he kind of got over the fact, he's like, "Yeah, watch this. My shoulder is popped out," and you see him like pop his shoulder back in.
God,
it's bad.
Jeez, pop. Well, he pops it back in. He says, "I don't know what people were so mad and upset and sad about and so worried about me. You see, I've been saying I'm the best, and then I went out there and nearly killed myself, injured myself, and still won the match, still became the first ever Universal Champion. So yeah, I am the best, and I've proved it. I've literally proved it. I went out there and killed myself to do it. But I came back. He was injured for 9 months. That's a long time. That was almost a year. He comes back from injury, and then he has matches. He's got matches with Jinder Mahal. He says they've had instead of done it, you can say they had the best match ever of their career. Jinder Mahal.
Best match of his career.
Baron Corbin.
Best match of his career.
Bobby Lashley.
Best match of his career.
Done it. He says those are the best matches those guys have ever had, and they were all with me because I'm the best.
It was funny. It was clever wording because the fans like you and I know he's saying, look, these shit guys on the roster, I gave them a good match. Whereas it's also that deniability. Like I used to be a bartender, server. When a customer's being a bit of a dick, I'll be very polite and I'll carefully use my words where I'm like, you know, I'm calling you a dick right now, but also I'm doing it in such a way where if someone goes, well, what did he say? It's like, well, that sounds very polite. And he was kind of being, if Jinder Mahal's like, what are you talking about best match of the year? It's like, yeah, mate, it was a really good match we had.
Well, we were at that Raw where we somehow bamboozled our way into like the third row or some shit.
That was Lashley and Finn Balor, wasn't it?
No, it was Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. I have a video of him where he does the dive right in front. That's right. So cool. It's like right in front of us.
That's right.
And
Lashley winked at me. I remember that.
Yeah, of course. We were booing him. Yeah. I don't like Lashley. I don't like any of those guys. I know we've been doing What's Next. Seth Rollins, the first ever NXT champion, beat Jinder Mahal. Spoilers, but we just went over that. Jinder didn't make it, but he went to become WWE champion somehow. Yeah. But he says, I beat all these guys, and I wasn't being pushed anywhere. And then he had a match against the man in the WWE, the man or the beast, because Finn got the chance to fight Brock Lesnar. And he says this was the first match in so long, in 3 years, that he felt this like aggression and passion. And I love that match.
I really liked it.
That is an awesome match. Brock Lesnar, you know, say what you will, I'd say in the past few years has kind of stepped up more than he has before.
I feel Brock is still one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yes.
But it's when he can be bothered. And I would say the same about Randy Orton. And I'm pretty bored by Randy Orton most of the time.
Yeah.
But then you see like what he's been doing with Edge recently, and he's the most entertaining person on the roster.
Yeah.
Brock is like that. If he's against a good wrestler who he wants to work with, he'll put on a hell of a match.
So that match was awesome. And he says he wanted to prove himself. Well, he didn't win the match, but he proved himself, in my opinion. So he says, I proved it to myself that I could step up and do all this stuff. But for the past 3 years, I was doing all the action figures. I was doing the media appearances. I was making everyone happy. I was just doing everything for the company. I was the company man. I was making everyone in all departments of WWE happy, but I wasn't making me happy. I needed to do what's best for me. And I wasn't doing things that I believed in. So that's why I came back to NXT to chase that feeling, to chase that aggression, that passion, and to do what's best for Finn Balor. He says, so I'm going back to me. I'm going back to the Prince. So there wasn't much mention of him and Volta.
There was no mention.
No mention.
So there was no mention of Takeover.
Yep.
Which my takeaway after this whole show was Gargano Ciampa is going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
And
WrestleMania.
Ripley and Charlotte obviously is going to happen at some point. Balor is someone they're high up on and a focus, but that Volta match is up in the air now. Well, especially travel bans.
Yeah.
Finn lives in the US now.
Oh.
Volta doesn't. So that match probably can't happen anyway.
Right.
Like, as of today, we can't even go across to the US.
Yeah.
So there's no way Volta can actually go over if they schedule that match. So I feel we're going to get the Ciampa Gargano match probably at WrestleMania PC. Yeah, and Balor, I think they're just trying to figure out what to do. But I thought this is a really interesting character piece.
It was cool because, like the last part, it shows like actual behind the scenes breaking kayfabe kind of things, like telling you actual what they thought about
and explains
things.
The chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, explains why he came back and why he's a dick. This literally explains everything. And if you weren't sure, he's a good guy now. He's a babyface again.
He's in that tweener role. If you want him to be a heel, he can be a heel. If you want him to be a babyface, he'll be a babyface. But he's still got that edge. And realistically, the crowd are going to cheer him. Whatever, I think.
Well, we shall see what happens.
What crowd? Sorry.
Yeah, no crowd.
Habit.
Yeah. Well, the last video package here is for a match that is happening in some capacity, whether it be PC or not, or whatever. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte. Charlotte wins the Women's Royal Rumble this year and instead challenges not Becky, not Bayley, but Rhea Ripley, the NXT Women's Champion. Rhea Ripley here being interviewed says, look, I'm NXT champion. Yo. And NXT is my mosh pit.
Yeah.
Which I was like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
Ripley's kind of making out here that it was her challenge. She's like,
yeah.
So Charlotte, I was watching the Royal Rumble. Charlotte won it. We've seen Charlotte v. Becky fucking loads of times. We've seen Charlotte versus Bayley loads of times. So that's why I came out at Raw and I put the ball in her court. I'm like, I'm NXT champion. Mm-hmm. You can challenge me.
That's not what happened though.
She did come out. She did come out on Raw when she was going to make her announcement.
Yeah.
And I think that was quite a cool way of spinning it as well, because realistically, as fans, we're going, yeah, we've seen that match a lot.
Charlotte, Rhea Ripley. Rhea says, look, when I first showed up here, 20 years old, I was blonde hair, and people said I looked like Charlotte. People said I looked like Toni Storm. People said I even looked like
Vince McMahon.
No, Lana.
Okay.
Lana. And I could see it. They showed comparisons, and you're like, whoa, okay, blonde hair. Sure.
She was cutesy, wasn't she?
So she says that's it just wasn't getting me to where I was, and that's just not who I was. So instead of going that route, I did what I wanted to do. I wore what I want to wear. I do what I want to do because I'm Rhea Ripley. So then it shows like the transformation that she kind of went through. She decided, maybe if I stop shopping at American Eagle and start shopping at Hot Topic, I'll get over. So that's what she did. So got a few tattoos, put some contacts in her eyes, put some spacers in her ears, and now she's champ.
Yeah. That's all it takes, guys.
No, I mean, if this is the person she is, then like, yeah, cool.
For sure,
it
yeah.
definitely shows that she was
But I
cookie
think
cutter.
it's also looking at the product and going, these women are starting to break out and starting to be a bit more individual. You don't have to be just your blonde supermodel
Right.
now. I can be more who I am, and it's
Yeah.
going to actually make me stand out more.
Right.
Whereas Rhea Ripley in 2005 wouldn't have been a thing.
Well, we had like certain rockers, maybe like an Ashley Massaro.
Ashley, who is still a blonde, like a.
You're right. You wouldn't see this. You wouldn't see this character, and I like the.
You wouldn't have had your Shayna Baszlers and your Rhea Ripley,
right?
And
well,
even Shotzi Blackhearts, I don't think would have been around then.
Rhea Ripley says Charlotte walks around here like the queen. The crowd eat it up. When Charlotte woos, they woo. Well, Charlotte, they won't be wooing at WrestleMania this year, will they? Is literally what she says.
Yeah, because there ain't gonna be anyone there.
Charlotte, you are used to big crowds, stadiums, WrestleMania, but you aren't used to empty crowds. You aren't used to the PC. You aren't used to the PC, but I am. I've just been, wait, isn't Charlotte? Oh, never mind. She says, I've been training in the PC. This is where I've been building to be who I am.
I'm trying to think.
The PC was probably around the time when Charlotte wasn't
open
there.
like when she was NXT.
Yeah.
But she was like an FCW.
That
person.
FCW doc is crazy, by the way. So Rhea says, there's no one but me, Charlotte. To beat the best, you gotta beat. To be the best, sorry, you gotta beat the best. Ooh. I'm pinning Charlotte Flair, and I'm walking out champion. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte, WrestleMania PC happening April, probably the 4th or the 5th. This was my least favorite video of the whole night, and this is the match that's actually happening.
It was the most they actually addressed the like she's saying it's cancelled. Like she's saying they had to rearrange, and whereas until now it's like Vince McMahon just had this great idea where he's like, you know what, Tampa stadiums don't feel like it. Let's do an empty arena. That's almost how they've been spinning it.
Yeah.
I still find it really fucking bizarre that they're not just addressing it head on.
It's crazy.
Imagine in 20 years' time.
Yeah.
When like people have kind of forgotten about this.
Yeah.
Be like, wait, why am I going like Dallas, 100,000 people, 2 years at New Orleans in the Superdome? You got that amazing Orlando Citrus Bowl with all the fireworks, and then you see clips of Rhea Ripley beating Charlotte Flair in front of like one producer,
Greg, the camera guy.
And you're like, what happened? I do feel sorry for the likes of Ripley and Drew McIntyre and those people who look to have a big moment this year.
What I'm saying. Why don't we just postpone it, guys? Can we not just find a date when this all cures up, and then when it's cured, you go, cool, MSG, book us right now.
Just think, I'm sure the city of Tampa would want this event.
Yeah.
And especially after something, I feel once it's all cleared and we know events can go ahead, you put this event on where it was meant to be, all the fans are going to want to go. It's going to really help the city of Tampa recover because everyone's going to be like damaged. It's going to be a great morale thing. It's going to be a big event. We did it, guys. This is WrestleMania. You had to wait for it, but it's now. But I guess we just don't know how long this is going to be.
It's true. We really don't. We really don't know. Donald Trump saying this could go till July, August. Imagine being quarantined in your house, no wrestling till July and August.
I'm not going to take Donald Trump's word on anything.
I'm pretty sure he said it was a hoax.
It was a hoax about a week ago.
Yeah, 6 days ago.
I also think I said I wanted coronavirus about a week ago, so things do change.
Yes.
Yeah, attitudes change and stuff, but we don't know. Yeah.
I miss wrestling, guys.
If we go to WrestleMania, talking about it, not going because we can't. It's a 2-day thing. What do you close each show with? What are your 2 main events?
Roman Goldberg, I guess. Fuck.
Do you do Roman Goldberg one night and fucking Drew Brock the other?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how you would book it. I really don't see. I don't like, as much as this awful sounds. Like I'm telling you, I miss wrestling. I don't care about this whole show.
Yeah.
As soon as you said it, this is where it's going to be.
What's a shame
Sounds
is
terrible.
I actually got quite excited about I know a lot of people were down on the card. I was actually quite hot for the card. I thought it looked interesting. And
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's a shame.
It is.
SummerSlam, if it goes ahead, is going to be huge, though, I guess now.
I can't. I'm waiting for them to cancel Wrestle Dynasty, which I'm like I was planning on going to. So like that's in August, end of August. So will this be gone? Who knows? Will wrestling be on hiatus, or will we be forced to watch indie wrestling to put shows on YouTube for free, like I did this week with Will Ospreay and B Priestley?
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was cool to do.
Oh, I was at work. It was my last shift at work, and I had it on in the background because no customers were coming in. And I saw they had like 12,000 people watching at one point, and so many people tipping them and stuff. So I really hope they did well. It looked like it did well. So good for them.
Yeah, I mean it's dangerous now because you don't know where we are in the world if you should even be doing
that for sure,
right? So it's just crazy. Well, that was all there really was this week on NXT. Excuse me. We were both itching to watch. This would have been the Turncoat episode where we watched AEW instead. We're gonna do that as soon as we click the end record button on this. We're watching AEW. We will do our AEW review on our Patreon tomorrow, as we do every Thursday.
Isn't there karaoke? Oh no,
we're going to karaoke tonight.
It's meant to be live band karaoke tonight. Yeah,
we met a bunch of Irish lasses that told us they wanted to go to. They were telling me about it, and I'm like, guys, I don't think you're going to that anytime soon. But we did put some feedback up to see if anyone was out there. Are you out there? Hello? Is it me you're looking for? Well, every Wednesday night we record Up Next on our YouTube, youtube.com/upnext. But forum.postwrestling.com is where we post up on the Post Wrestling forum and read your comments and questions on the show.
Yeah, we're making it, because NXT is weird at the moment, we'll make it pretty broad. So this week, next week, just tell us, what are you doing during quarantine? Tell us something nice that happened.
Yeah.
Ask us questions, whatever. Like, it's such a different show now. We enjoy interacting with you guys, so you can keep it pretty free.
Yeah. Do you want to read the first one here?
Sure. We start with Mystery. Hi, guys. Not going to talk about much tonight, since it was quite possibly the most missable episode of NXT I watched in a long time. I watched AEW instead.
Ooh.
I understand the circumstances why they did what they did tonight, but if this is going to be the trend going forward, then NXT is in deep trouble. I don't know about that. Like, think other sports and stuff just aren't happening at all.
It's all happening.
I think as long as you're putting out something, it's something.
Yep.
Ratings and all that don't matter right now at all.
No.
That Rhea video package was absolutely horrendous in how much they talked her up and all the revisionist history in it, like how Rhea carried the Survivor Series team to victory, etc. The highlight of my wrestling week was Asuka on commentary. She needs to be put on commentary with Triple H at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Her and Triple H.
I think it should just be Asuka as the crowd for Mania. Every match just wah! Oh!
I love Asuka so much.
She's fantastic.
We go to Eva from London.
Also, I'm not a fan of King, but King was very funny.
Yeah.
Just translating her throughout the whole show. I did enjoy him this week.
Eva from London says, been in isolation with my cat T-Pole, and she is my main source of smiles during isolation.
Hey, send me pictures of your cat.
What's T-Pole stand for? How do you have a cat and not name it after a wrestler? How do you have not? If I ever get a dog, I want to name it Gomez, because my mom has a dog named Pugsley.
You know what T-Pole is an abbreviation of?
No.
Ting Pollock.
Oh, Lord. Ting Pollock Old Law. That's right. T-Pole. Apologies for missing last week. I figured here's a picture of Shayna Baszler and a Shayna Baszler fact no one asked for. Back in 2011, one of her favorite current WWE wrestlers was The Miz, and actually wore one of his shirts to a presser at a UFC fight in 2015. I did know that happened, but that explains Shayna Baszler's in-ring.
Hey.
Because The Miz is so exciting. This episode of NXT was overall good. The promo packages ranked 1 Balor, 2 Ripley, and the other one was too long. That Ripley one was not good. I didn't really like it. I agree. We're in this weird bind of what are we supposed to watch. They continue. I think you guys in those like Misery vastly underrate Rhea's ability both in the ring and on the mic. She was solid AF in her interview tonight, much like you guys did with Shayna. Well, if WrestleMania happens in 2 weeks, I look forward to seeing both those women stealing the entire damn show. So you're a Ripley fan too.
I
The
would
Ripley
say
facts.
I found Ripley far more engaging in this situation, sitting down.
Mhm.
I've said to you when we were off air, I don't like Charlotte in scripted promos,
Right.
but I think she does have a charisma and the ability to cut a good promo. I find that kind of the same with Ripley. I thought she sounded way more natural and engaging here than she does when she's just holding the mic in the middle of the ring.
I find Rhea very not. I know a lot of people on our best and worst of were like, "Oh, Rhea Ripley's least on the mic favorite." So I can see it. Yeah, not great.
We go to WrestlingGram. Happy to see NXT and AEW make lemonade tonight. During my social distancing, I found Lucha Underground in its entirety for free on the Tubi app. Not heard of the Tubi app.
Gotta get it then.
I'll get the Tubi app. It's a fun watch in hindsight, or if you're seeing it for the first time. Would love to hear you guys review it during these hard times. I watched the whole of season 1 of that as it happened, and I loved it. Just life got in the way, and I didn't continue watching it after that. But I remember there was a trios match, trios ladder match for the trios titles between Angelico, Ivelisse, and Son of Havoc against these 3 masked guys. I can't remember what their name is. And Angelico does this crazy drop kick off of the office. Knocking the guy off the ladder. It's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's like one of my highlights of Lucha Underground. Also, the Johnny Mundo Prince Puma Iron Man match. They call it something different, but essentially the Iron Man match where Johnny Mundo goes like 3-0 up and just goes to the mariachi band, gets them to play, picks up maracas, and just for like 3 minutes plays with the band. Amazing. There's definitely some fun with Lucha Underground. So yeah, I advise during these times, if you're in quarantine, if you're off work, try and find something a little different that you don't normally watch and let us know about it.
My favorite Lucha Underground moment was when they teased that they got Rey Mysterio and then they got canceled.
Yeah, they had Ray very briefly. Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I gotta watch that. That sounds great. And it's gone. Just like wrestling these days. Yes, there is a lot of hard times. We've mentioned our Patreon quite a few times already, but with these hard times like Dusty Rhodes, these hard times, we will be doing some even more shows in the coming weeks on there as well, and maybe some more free ones as well if we're feeling nice.
Yeah,
feeling generous.
Bored.
Self-contained. David George from Manila.
Oh, we haven't heard from him.
Yeah. Hey, David George. Hello. Haven't been online for days. Busy as always. Anyway, just like Mystery said, this is a mediocre NXT episode. I ever watched. Nothing else to say. I will go and watch AEW instead, as this is a kind of stress killer. Before I forget, situation in my home country is slightly strict because of the curfew law implemented by our president himself, and some of the people out there went panic buying in respective supermarkets and groceries. Yes, I think that's happening everywhere.
Worldwide, yeah.
That's in David is from Manila, and that's crazy. Here in Canada, like I mentioned, I went to a grocery store today. It was scarce. There wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He's got some questions. Any news on the inactive or injured NXT wrestlers so far?
They're in quarantine.
Yeah, really.
I've no idea, to be honest. I think anyone who's been slightly inactive or injured for a while are just probably taking their downside and chilling right now.
If WrestleMania is going to be relocated soon, does this affected the match card and the creative storyline? I hope Drew McIntyre will be champion at least a week or so. Stay safe, and I'll chat to both of you soon. God bless BFFs. Thank you, David George.
I can see them cutting the card down for sure.
Yeah.
I know it's over 2 nights now, but I don't think we're going to have the likes of a Battle Royal.
No.
I could see some tag matches being pulled. Like the matches they normally have, which is let's get everyone on the card. I can see them going and it just being some singles matches, maybe like 5-6 matches per night. We go to Philly Chris from Pennsylvania. I watched both NXT and AEW tonight, and I was reminded of Breaking Bad when Mike told Walt no half measures. WWE had half measures with SmackDown and in particular Raw, and they wound up being very uneven shows. Tonight, both companies went all in with two very different directions. Without any spoilers, AEW basically did the show as they would have done on a regular week, and NXT went the other way with in-depth features. From the NXT perspective, the Finn package was my favorite. I thought it was a great summation of his NXT and main roster run. I wonder what the last few years would have been like for him if he didn't get hurt in that SummerSlam match with Seth. It wasn't your typical wrestling show tonight, but any distraction from what's going on is a welcome one. Take care, fellas. Yeah,
Thank you, Chris.
it's an interesting thought. Like, what if? Could be a
Yeah.
show down the line.
Oh, I think that all the time of what if.
What if Brett didn't leave WWF? What if? Yeah, there's so many
What
things.
if we got to see Eddie versus Shawn?
Yeah.
What if, Crazy. We go to Hugh from Melbourne. Interesting show tonight, wasn't it? While I feel a lot of the Gargano Ciampa stuff has been covered before, it was great to see the entire feud in a documentary style with just enough kayfabe in there to keep the match build going. It makes it clear that both men are selfish and wanting that spotlight for themselves, and neither of them are completely in the right. Gargano has been framed as the heel in recent episodes, but I think we're going to get an Austin Brett double turn in the match itself whenever it happens. The Balor and Ripley segments were pretty good as well. I've also enjoyed Evolve uploading free matches every day on YouTube. The Velveteen Dream Darby Allin match was a lot of fun. Stay safe, guys. Yeah, thank you. The Evolve YouTube have been uploading a lot of free matches, including some AEW versus NXT. If you're interested in that, so go check that out as well.
Yeah, listener of the show, John Ceno has keeps on tagging us in every match that they're uploading. So you can check out, the Evolve YouTube channel or our very own Twitter. Twitter.com/upNXT.
Yes, I always forget
podcast. upNXT podcast.
At upNXT
yes,
podcast.
I fucked that up. We go to Charbel, the chosen one.
The chosen one.
Just bear with me. Because I had 3 children back to back, 1, 2, 3 years old, my wife was off work for 3.5 years, but now that Super Nurse is back at work since last week, I had to work 2 jobs to keep us going.
Damn.
Because of some paperwork mistake at her job, now she is finally back at work. Then I lose my job. We were finally getting back on our feet. My boss downgraded my salary, and for all the food left at the restaurant since she closed yesterday, she asked me to buy the most vegetables and bread I could to help her. What the fuck? She cut my salary and she asked me to work 50 hours instead of 40 for 2 weeks, and me for my family, and to make sure a pay will come. I just shut my mouth and did it.
So in these trying times in the world, Charbel is working hard for his family.
Let me tell you, I'm not doing this for pity or something. I just want to tell you I was a little bit late on Patreon, so I had a lot of shows to go through, plus everything you were continuing to put on both feeds. Let me tell you, Davie and Brady, without you guys and my AirPods, I would have never passed those 2 awful weeks or the next days that are coming. You guys are like my friends doing a pod just for me and all my friends here in the upNXT universe.
Thank you very much, Charbel.
I like the DNA of the show with all the catchphrases you have, or just some stupid stuff like saying friends at the start of the show.
Friends.
Always yelling friends with you guys also. Friends! So for everything you guys do, thank you. Insert some Dijak sound effect, please. Thank you, Charbel. That means a lot. Like, honestly, that's so nice of you. And sorry times have been tough.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people are going through the same right now.
Charbel, we're talking about hard times.
Yeah.
Talking about bad times. Charbel, bad times don't last, but bad guys do. Charbel, you got this, brother. You're a family man, and I know a lot of our listeners, they listen when they're at work. And should you be listening while you're at work right now? Maybe you're not at work right now. You're probably not at work right now.
And I'm sure Tainara Conchi's Instagram is helping you through these times as well, Charbel.
I know Charbel loves Tainara's Instagram account, because every time I see it, it says Charbel's like it. It's kind of like how I go through Kyrie Zane's, and you're always
always a step ahead.
Actually, a lot of our listeners, I get this message quite a few times. Someone will message me and go, "Hey, check out this indie wrestler. I think you'll like her." And then the message maybe 2 minutes after, "Oh, never mind. You've liked everything way before I got here." I'm like, yeah, I'm ahead of the curve. I used to call myself the WWE Divas journalist for the live audio wrestling, but they don't call them divas anymore, respectively so. And I agree with that. So I can't be the Divas journalist. I can just be the women's wrestling specialist. Sure. One day. That's my dream. It's on my LinkedIn. Still says that. I should change that.
What, Diva
I'm
Specialist?
pretty sure I should change that.
Yeah, on your LinkedIn? Fucking hell.
No, it doesn't say that. It says something else.
That's like something you put on your MySpace, not your LinkedIn.
It said in the description of like interviewing people in something. I was like, well, I used to interview a lot of wrestlers from the WWE. It was a hard job, but someone had to do it.
Right,
That's what
okay.
I did. Thank you very much, Charbel. That is very kind words, and I hope you and your family are safe. But we have one more little tiny bit of feedback. Matt in the 604. Where's the 604?
No idea.
We asked him this, I think.
Really?
I don't remember. He says, hey, boys, any series you suggest while I'm stuck at home? Breaking Bad. If you haven't done it, just do it now.
Hey, and if you have, but you haven't done Better Call Saul, they're on
Ooh.
their final season now. It's
Maybe I'll do
really
it.
good. It's a bit of a slow burn, but they do it in the same structure as Breaking Bad, where it starts off kind of like a comedy and just gets darker and darker as it goes. I put it right up there with Breaking Bad. There's a show on Netflix called Line of Duty. It's a BBC drama. I think they've done 4 or 5 seasons so far. Only 6 episodes per season. It's about the like anti-corruption unit in the police force in the UK. So that means it's about police investigating police. It's really fucking good. Each season is its own like individual story, but it's all serving like this big overall arc. They've got fantastic actors in it, like Danny Mays, Thandie Newton. Highly recommend it.
I'm not much a series person. Like I talk about Breaking Bad because it's the show I absolutely adore. Like I think it's perfect, almost near perfect. And I was a really big fan of Stranger Things, and especially the last season that they had put out. So I don't know if you've never watched those, go watch. But in this like quarantine days, I've found myself watching a lot of stand-up.
Okay.
Like Netflix specials. They did a Pete Davidson one, which was okay. I was expecting a little bit more from Pete. I'm a big Pete Davidson fan. I think he's going to be a big name in media and acting comedy in the years to come because he's still so young. His new special is really good, but I've just started clicking. If you watch this, you might like Bill Burr from this day. So I've just been watching like all these stand-up specials. So if anyone has any recommendations, I'll check them out. Anthony Jeselnik was one I fucking howled. So I haven't really gotten into series. Series for me is like ADHD, man. I don't know.
Speaking of like comedy as well, there's UK are fantastic at panel shows,
right?
Like panel comedy shows, and most of them are free on YouTube and have been going for years and years and years. So you can find so many on YouTube for free. I recommend Would I Lie to You? I've shown you some of that. It's super funny. Would I Lie to You? I recommend Mock the Week. 8 out of 10 Cats. 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown. They're all really fun, and if you're feeling like kind of tired and don't want to actually focus on a drama or anything, they're easy to digest. For another drama, I'd say Succession. I've got 1 episode left. It's an HBO drama, so if you're in Canada and have Crave, watch that. Rest of the world, you'll have it on some sort.
I need some more Netflix. I have Netflix, and I don't know why I just cancel and get another service because their horror movies lack so bad. I need maybe just horror movies in genre have been lacking in the past few years, but I need some new horror movies in my life. So another like again, we're ending the near of the show. We do our Patreon where we do best match ever, but a thing like we're wrestling fans and we are roommates and we live together and we have our stash for our quarantine of alcohol. But most of the time when we
got through half of it in this show, I think.
we got through a lot of wine during the show. We watch like old wrestling matches.
Yeah.
Especially like we started best match ever because we started going through like cage match or Meltzer rated matches or just like recommended matches, and like that's kind of like helped us. That buys a lot of time. So I would recommend that if you're like a wrestling fan and there's matches that you've heard about or dudes you've heard about that you just never checked out, fucking now's the time. Like the internet is
Cage Match is an amazing resource.
Go
on the you can do it by like viewers ratings or Wrestling Observer ratings, or you can click on an individual wrestler to look at. It's essentially how we make our best match, how we pick the matches we watch on Best Match Ever.
Because like me and you have gone through, we're like, hey, what should we watch right now? And then we open this, we go through some rated things, and we're like, hey, have you seen Kenta Kobashi versus someone? And you're like, no, actually, I haven't seen that. From when? 1996? Huh, all right, let's watch it. And like, it's lit. So like, use that to your service as well. The WWE Network obviously has so much great stuff on it as well, including Gargano and Almas.
Yes.
And Chill.
Oh, and then with series, go back and watch The In-Betweeners. I believe it's all on YouTube. There's 3 seasons and 2 movies. We did a review ages ago for free on upNXT. You can go on postwrestling.com on the upNXT movie section. You'll see our review for The In-Betweeners. It's what we were asked recently if we do Friends at the beginning because of The In-Betweeners. Yes, we do.
We did a review of it.
It's so funny. And I looked up 604. I believe it's British Columbia. So I think you're in Canada.
Nice.
I think the humor does translate. I know a lot of friends who have Friends who have picked it up and they go, that shit's so funny.
So check that out.
So check that out.
We did a review of it somewhere down the line. We did.
Yeah.
Already on this free feed. If you're maybe new to us, go through all the other shows. Join our Patreon. There's so many shows. We have an Up Yours where world champion Robert Frith has chosen The Matrix. Keanu Reeves. Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa. We're going to be watching that this Friday and then reviewing it on the Patreon. It's a weird pick, but I'm down for it, especially in these quarantine times. I'm cool to watch some stuff I haven't watched in a while and some good shit.
I haven't watched that for years.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be doing our WrestleMania Curtain Jerker Best Match Ever. We're going to be doing our AEW Dynamite review coming out later today, tomorrow, whenever you're listening to this. So thank you so much for listening to this. I know NXT is on a bit of a lull. The whole world is on a bit of a weird, little sad patch. So we're your friends, as we've said a million times, and we'll still be here regardless. We'll always be here. Knock, knock.
Who's that?
The BDE, and we'll always be there for you.
Oh, isn't that cute? Isn't that cute?
So thank you for listening. Follow us on our Twitter at upNXT Podcast. I am Braden Herrington. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TheBrady. And
you can find me at Davie Portman.
And we never came up with our names for our dishes, by the way. We had some Caribbean curry, jerk. Was it chicken? It was chicken Caribbean jerk.
We've already had Dai Jerk Kovic.
Dai Jerk Kovic.
Yeah.
And we didn't have bolognese sauce today. So for the meat sauce.
Yeah.
With your pasta. So I don't know what NXT names we can come up with, but we'll think about it. So thank you so much for listening. Again, these times are crazy. This world is crazy. And if we can help you out one little bit by giving you some entertainment via your earbuds, then that is what we do. And that is what we'll continue to do. So thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. I always end the show by saying be safe. And I truly, truly mean it. So take care. Goodbye. And what's this guy going to do? He's got a broken neck.